Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Zach the Movie Fan. I know it's been a while, I do apologize. Um, it, there's just been some stuff going on. I will explain it more at the end of this review. But yeah. And yes, I am aware that I am late to the party on this one, but you know what, screw it. So, Fantastic Four, First Steps. The Marvel Cinematic, Kevin Feige has finally brought Marvel's first family into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This has been a long time coming, actually. Funny story, back when I was in, I think it was either middle school or, no, I was pretty sure it was high school. I actually joined a comic book club, and, at the time, I believe we had heard news that Disney was thinking of buying Fox, and the one thing that the teacher who was running the club said was he went to a poster of the 2015 Fantastic Four film that he got from another student as a gift, and he said, and I quote, "Hopefully, these guys will finally." Hopefully these guys will be done well. And we finally reached that time. Before I get into my thoughts on this film, I guess I should give my thoughts on the other Fantastic Four movies of the past. The Roger Corman version. I have not seen it, but I've heard that it's not really good. Although the saddest thing is, compared to the future adaptations, it's, from what I hear anyway, the Corman version is a lot better by comparison. And that's extra sad considering the Corman film was never even released and barely had a budget. The Tim Story films. I hate the Tim Story movies. I know that they have their fans, and if there are any fans of the Tim Story films watching this, I'm sorry, but I couldn't stand the Tim Story Fantastic Four movies. All the main characters are incredibly unlikable, especially Johnny. I love Chris Evans, but god damn it, the writing makes Johnny the most unbearable, unlikable asshole ever, and not in a fun way. The only thing I liked from the Tim Story movies was The Thing. I liked his character development. I thought the actor that played him did a pretty good job. And I do give props that they, instead of using CGI, they actually put the actor in this big, bulky suit throughout the entire film. That couldn't have been pleasant, and I give the actor who did that all the props in the world. Besides that, I hate the Tim Story films. The Tim Story films was actually the reason why I really did not like the Fantastic Four as a kid. It wasn't until the 2015 film came out and I did some digging into why the Fantastic Four are popular that I grew to appreciate them a lot more. But yeah, speaking of which, Fant4stick, I have not seen it. However, I will say, there will definitely come a day where I will look at that film. One day. I mean, with the awful reputation it has, I kind of have to. So yeah, the Fantastic Four have never really been that successful in terms of adaptations. So there was definitely... So, despite the fact that I thought the trailers for this new Fantastic Four film looked good and I liked the cast, I had this feeling that it was going to suck. But, mostly because I didn't really have much else to do that week, I bought a ticket to see the new Fantastic Four, and I'm happy to say they did it. They fucking did it. we finally have a Fantastic Four movie that doesn't suck. It's insane that it took getting through so many bad movies to get to this point, but we've got there. So yeah, I like Fantastic Four First Steps quite a lot. But yeah, let's get into actually talking about the movie. I will keep this as spoiler free as I can. Okay, so Fantastic Four First Steps actually takes place in an alternate Earth. That's not the Earth that the MCU takes place in. On this Earth, the Fantastic Four, at least what the film tells us, the Fantastic Four are like the only superheroes on that Earth. I could be wrong though, but I'm pretty sure that's what the movie says. The Fantastic Four have been around for a while, and they're now currently facing two of their biggest challenges yet. One is the fact that they're expecting a child. Sue Storm, aka the Invisible Woman, played by Vanessa Kirby, is pregnant, and so the Fantastic Four are all getting ready to take care of a new member of the family. The other major challenge is a lot more destructive. A being called the Silver Surfer comes to Earth, saying that a being called Galactus is coming to devour their world. The Fantastic Four try to find a way to outsmart Galactus and save their world. And that's pretty much the movie in a nutshell. Yeah, there's a lot to really like about this movie. Yeah, let's start. For starters, like I said, the cast in this movie is fucking phenomenal. Pedro Pascal is really damn good as Mr. Fantastic. It's actually why I find it so funny that Pedro Pascal was getting so much hate, because everybody was like, "Oh, this is the worst casting ever." But you know what? All the people that said that can eat shit, because Pedro did phenomenal here. This movie really does show Pedro Pascal's versatility as an actor. Pedro, before this film, was most well known for playing the Mandalorian and Joel from the Last of Us TV series. Before this, he showed that he was good at casting tough, gruff characters with a dark past. But obviously, Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, is very different. But Pedro really proved himself. When Pedro plays this role, I see Mr. Fantastic. Even the way Pedro talks and his acting is very different than his previous works, and I think it did a fantastic job. All the other actors do a great job as well. My two personal favorites, though, are Pedro Pascal and Vanessa Kirby. I personally feel that these two knocked it out of the park. They have really good chemistry together. They have really good chemistry together, and they both did a fantastic job. You know what? Pun intended. The other two actors, Joseph Quinn, and I unfortunately don't know the name of the actor who played the Thing. Joseph Quinn does a great job as the Human Torch. This movie actually does a phenomenal job making Johnny a bit of a cocky smartass, but not in a way where he is annoying. That was always my biggest problem with the Tim Story films. I hear people defend that movie by saying that's how Johnny is in the comics, which okay, fine, but that doesn't change the fact that the movie didn't do it well. Because of the way the film is written or directed, in the Tim Story films, Johnny always felt like an obnoxious asshole, and not in a charming way, like say Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark. No, I just always found him so unbearably annoying. Um, but thankfully, Joseph Quinn plays the part a lot better, probably due to the much better script he has. Johnny is a bit cocky and full of himself, but it's never to the point where he is obnoxious, and he really does prove that he does care about the others, and even proves that he can be pretty damn smart too. Um, as for the actor who played the Thing, I think he did a great job too. I mean, granted, I do kind of wish they got an actor into like makeup and prosthetics, like what they did with the Tim Story films. But I personally feel he did a pretty damn. I personally feel the actor did a good job. Um, if there is any criticism of the movie, it would be that probably because of everything going on in the film, I personally feel that the Thing doesn't get the much development in the film. Um, and considering that the Thing was like the only character I liked from the Tim Story films, that left me a bit disappointed. But you know what? The actor does a really good job. Yeah, and it is also nice too to see that this version of the Thing doesn't see himself as a monster like in the Tim Story films, and he's very clearly learned to accept who he is. Um, I think it's a nice touch. All the actors do a really good job. Um, like all of them brilliantly brought Marvel's first family to life. Now let's talk about the villains of the movie. Um, First we have the Silver Surfer. A lot of people were actually complaining that this is a different version of the Silver Surfer than the usual one. To be honest, I'm not the most well versed in this character, so it doesn't really bother me. But I will say this: I think the Silver Surfer is done pretty well here. I really liked her backstory. Um, I really did like her backstory, and she can be pretty damn intimidating, though nowhere near as intimidating as Galactus. This this was the one villain that I personally was kind of looking forward to. Um, like, I don't know that much about Galactus, but I do know enough to know that he's a big deal in the Marvel Universe. I mean, they call him the Devourer of Worlds, and the idea of bringing a character like that to life is just such a damn cool idea. Um, and you know what? They did a great job with him. Not only does the actor doing Galactus's voice do a really good job being damn intimidating, but there's also a bit of tragedy to Galactus here. Not to give too much away, but um, we do get the feeling that Galactus does not like the role that he's in. Like, he doesn't like being the Devourer of Worlds and would give anything to revoke this title and place it onto someone else. I do like that. I like that there's a little bit of sympathy to him. The visuals of the film are really damn cool. This movie goes for a very 1960s sci-fi kind of aesthetic. Um, Honestly, it reminded me a lot of the Jetsons. And you know what? It's a pretty cool look. I'm not the biggest fan of 60s looking science fiction, but you know what? It's bright, it's colorful, and it really does fit the tone of the film. The music in the movie, which is done by the same composer who did Robert Pattinson's Batman, also did a really good job here. This composer's the soundtrack really has that old school 60s feel, but it also does feel very grand and epic. Yeah. I also really like the way this film's story is told, and um let me explain. All the Fantastic Four, they know that on their own they don't stand a chance against Galactus, at least in terms of sheer power. They know that they can't beat him in like a fist fight. So the entire movie, they're kind of like thinking of different strategies and different ways to kind of like outsmart him or come up with a plan or strategy. And honestly, I've thought that was a breath of fresh air. I really liked that their approach to this villain wasn't just the usual let's team up and take him down. Like they actually really tried to think of a clever strategy to deal with Galactus, and it felt very refreshing. It felt very different compared to past Marvel movies. It actually kind of reminded me a lot of an episode of Doctor Who. I mean, really think about it. Um, I will admit I haven't seen every episode of Doctor Who, so I've seen some episodes of the reboot show from I think 2009 or 8. But the way that show is structured when it comes to a threat is that the Doctor usually tries to find a way to outsmart the threat or find a way to deal with it. And that's what's always so fun about and that was what was so fun about the episodes of Doctor Who I saw, the fact that the Doctor just didn't try to brute force against the enemy. He tried to find a way to outsmart it. And it feels very similar. And the way the Fantastic Four deal with Galactus reminded me a lot of that. And you know what? Which is funny because I remember back in the day when Fant4stic came out, Erod, the Blockbuster Buster, if you don't know, he actually said that the comics is basically what you get if you mix The Incredibles with Doctor Who. And you know what? That pretty much really summarizes this movie in a way. It has the family dilemmas and conflicts from The Incredibles with the science fiction storytelling of Doctor Who, and the two styles of stories do blend very well together here. That's real, but yeah, that's really but yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on the movie overall. I personally feel that they did a really good job with this. I mean, and you know what? It's so nice because Marvel's first family has never been treated right in terms of adaptations. So to see an adaptation really get these characters right and all that, it's so nice to see. This is the movie Marvel's first family deserved, and it's so nice to see. I'm going to give Fantastic Four First Steps an A+. This is a pretty solid movie. Hell, I'll even go a step further. After First Steps, I'm officially excited for Avengers Doomsday. Yeah, I'm very interested to see how they're going to bring the Fantastic Four into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm hearing that Reed is going to be the leader of the Avengers in that film, and you know what? I'm all down for that. I hope to God that doesn't mean I have to watch shit tons of stuff to catch up, though. That would suck. But yeah. However, Here's a question that I'm sure there are some people curious about, and that is, which movie is better? James Gunn's Superman or Fantastic Four: First Steps? Both movies are very different, but also very very similar in a way. Both of the film stories are obviously very different, but both have a lighthearted tone, and both movies have a love for the characters in comics. Um, for me, I think it really comes down to personal preference. Honestly, to me, I enjoyed James Gunn's Superman more. Um, like I personally enjoyed that film a lot more. But I will say this: I do think Fantastic Four: First Steps is a better written film. As much as I love James Gunn's Superman, I will admit the first 20 minutes of that film are kind of rough due to how much they throw at you. Fantastic Four: First Steps does a much better job easing you into the world and the characters. But yeah. Again, though, I think it just comes down to personal preference. Uh, you know, you know, why don't you guys let me know your thoughts in the comments below? Tell me what you guys think was better, James Gunn's Superman or Fantastic Four: First Steps. That's that's my grandmother's phone. I apologize. Anyway, before I sign off though, I have a big announcement to make. Due to recent stuff that has been happening, I will be taking a break from college throughout from fall to the beginning of winter. Basically after the new year, I will be going back to college. So that means I have a lot of free time on my hands, and I want to make the most of it. I have always wanted to do best and worst of lists for a year, and with all this free time, I would really like to do that. However, there is a lot that I need to catch up on, and I really could use your guys' help. Let me know. Let me know in the comments below what films you guys think should be on the best or the worst of list. I already have some ideas of what films to check out, like Ballerina, 28 years later. The recent I Know What You Did Last Summer. The live action remake of Snow White. Like, I already have an idea of what would be on either list, but you know, I could always miss some. So you guys let me know in the comments below. Yeah, if you guys do that, I would be eternally grateful. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Oh, and don't worry, even though it's definitely past a month now, I will still continue with the Resident Evil movie reviews. In fact, as a bonus, I will also be doing a review on the new movie Weapons coming out this Friday. So expect a video on that this Saturday. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. But yeah, what did you guys think of Fantastic Four: First Steps? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know down in the comments below, and if you like what you see here, like, comment, and subscribe. See you later.